Not clicking.
Did I click?
Nope.
I'm not. Oh, oops. I'm an idiot. Hey, there we go. I actually got it right. Not quite in time though. Jasmine from Newman, perfect. Okay, so thanks guys. We're here for the after action review. Dale, the Aries CEO or CO is going to be here shortly. Just walked in. Right now we got Freddie with us. He was Poseidon CO, and I got Toucan here with me, and I've got J&P Fusion Japanese food here with me as well.
It's
So
very good.
I'm going to be eating some dinner while we talk.
I eat mine because I live in poverty. So
it'll be it's very weird that let's see, nothing at all. We are live. Okay, just making sure. Jeez, look at that. That's the first time that's ever happened. 8 people watching, 9 people watching. Nobody's saying it. Hey, whoever's watching, somebody just say something real quick so I make sure the chat's working. No, I've never seen it not have anything in it before. Yeah, we were talking before this. Fred, you said I know it was long weekend and a long enjoyable rest of the week for you as well. I want to thank you again for putting up with all of it, everything that went down and the antics of it all. You did great.
There are comments. Just something's wrong, but
is there something wrong?
I don't think that there was anything I had to put up with, man.
No.
No, dude, you guys catered to Veterans for Airsoft. Like, bam, here's you guys a spot. You catered to me and my family and Dale, and we thank you for that. You catered to the player base, dude. You were bending over backwards. In fact, you catered so much so that you needed to ensure that you had certain items there, and that's what kept you on Friday. So, I mean, when you say we put up with, did you put up with everybody else? That's what you did, brother.
And I appreciate that. It's you got to watch the comments for me. I don't know why something's going on with the comments. For me, again, and very much like yourself, for me, doing this has always been about the players, just like VFA is about the veterans. This has always only ever been about the players for me. I didn't intend on doing anything other than feeding hot dogs to the kids 9 years ago or 8 years ago. You know, that's how I started helping out. And so having an event like this and just the thought of players not having what they needed at the event, that drove me crazy. That's, like you said, that's why I ended up being late, because I was waiting on shipments of stuff to still show up, and one of the U-Hauls was late, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, trying to have all that, to me, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? And I appreciate the recognition though, but
and there I was minding my own business when Greg comes up and says, "Give me your car keys and your clothes," and he drives off to make sure he can feed 200 hungry players.
And
he had the sunglasses on too.
We are going to get into that a little bit too, because listen, it's an after action review. You talk about negatives and positives. You know, where do you improve and what went great. And there were some comments, and I'm curious to hear, you know, your thoughts on both sides and what you may have heard murmurings of and you know, exaltations of, you know.
Yeah. And I would specifically like to talk about the night game.
Yeah.
Since I ran that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, because that was very interesting score-wise for the entire event. Very interesting. So
I am. This is bugging me that I can't see any of the chats.
It's what reason. I'm here for. Don't let it you.
And I don't think I can leave and come back in. I think you actually have to stop the stream and come back, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got
it.
Yeah, you maintain that. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
I can see it on this end too.
Can you really?
Yeah, I could see it.
I wonder if I leave and come back if it shows up.
To answer your question, and it goes right into a comment here in the chat, and it says the comment is based on, you know, player count. when all of us went into this, hopes and dreams of it being massive, the biggest airsoft event, Veterans for Airsoft, Third Coast Airsoft. The fact that that prison is underutilized, first of all, for airsoft. Second, that's what DEO wanted to put on an event and get back into what you guys do. And we're fully on board, supported it. And so I'm just going to say this, man, this is a straight player controlled item. Players have complete control to sell out an event or to have an event that has a little bit lower numbers. Now, I will tell you this. I don't think that I gave two craps about the amount of players, whether it was, close to the 200. I think we said 180, somewhere around there, nuts and bolts and everything. So completely manageable number from a game host standpoint, I would think, and I would kick that back to Toucan for his comment. But reality is we as players have complete control over the player count. And so all of us collectively next run for this, you just got to push it out there. Tell your friends, guys, we have to pick and choose. It's a day and age where there's so much going on. There's so many different style of events that you pick and choose. And, I think video footage, photos, the discussions will definitely add to an increased player count for the next one. That was my one thing, is like, oh, wow. I'm used to these, 250 on 250, right? Yeah. I think it was close to that the last time Doomsday did one, and we played in it, and it was overwhelming. This one we were able to maneuver, and my favorite part was the fact that the transports worked for the players, were dialed into command. They played as part of the faction, not part of the game, but still maintained the integrity of the game and all rules. There was one comment that was made, hey, can you metagame for me? Which way did the transport go? And the driver said, well, I'd like to tell you, but I don't think I should.
Yep.
And I was standing there right in front of it, and I was like, dude, like, knucks up. Like, that's exactly what we need. So transport drivers were definitely an amazing part. And the fact that we got to play 3 separate areas essentially, and all 3 of those areas, the main prison, the villages or ISO camp, and then the farm and the condos, airfield kind of area, all 3 areas, very big, lots of moving parts. It was open. It was awesome. And wow, speaking of awesome, look at this beautiful man.
There it
you
is.
say the word and
Good
it's
segue.
awesome.
That's fantastic. Welcome, Dale.
Dale.
What's up, gentlemen? Good evening.
Freddie was just buttering me up, getting ready to tell me how terrible things were. So I was.
Yes.
The transports were, that was obviously, I mean, I made a big deal out of those in the lead up. There were a couple things that we felt were going to make a difference in the game itself, and I'm glad it worked. It sounds like what you're saying is it absolutely worked for the gameplay.
Yeah, hands down.
Dale, did you feel the same?
So I thought that with having the width that play field did, it was huge. Looking from one end to the other, especially when you get out there and you walk it. That was quite a hump. Having those transports to not only kind of simulate, movement of troops, but to get you out there, get them a chance to play in an area where they probably wouldn't get to on foot, and then bring them back to the fight within the same iteration. That paid off, instead of them disappearing for the damn entire iteration like some play fields do. It was nice to get them on mission, give them a sense of purpose, a task and purpose, and then get them back here, dry hole or otherwise, and then get them back in the fight, because everybody wants to get their pew-pew on. So, no, I thought it was great. I loved it. Especially either side had a dedicated vehicle or a dedicated transport. And I will say those transport pilots were Johnny on the spot, man. It wasn't like, oh yeah, okay, I'll talk to you in an hour when you get back. No, it was as soon as they were back in radio range. You know, they were on the mic talking to Freddie and talking to me and whoever. But it was I enjoyed it. It really did. It changed the dynamic of the game, especially as a commander.
Huge
for
shout
me.
out to
So,
Wiener
yeah.
and Lucas. They were your
Yep.
faction drivers, and Big Mo was he was Kazi back, and I know he was just constantly going, scooping people up. Which I was glad about.
Yep.
That was another. You know, you get killed over at the farmhouse. That is not a walk you want to take.
No.
You know, that's a half day.
There were a
walk
few
right
players
there.
that did it though. There were a few players, and that
Yep.
meat wagon, the meat wagon. We'll throw this in here now. They were swooping around, picking up the dead and transporting them back to their alfalfas. So, you know, from a player standpoint, we were catered to, hands down. It wasn't like all of us looked at each other like, all right, guys, let's get ready. We're going to go patrol out to the airfield. Because I was just going to go hang out, wait for a helicopter or an airplane to come in. And we looked at it, and it was like, no, you know, cow patties and all, not happening. Sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't climbing over any fences. So I don't
Yeah.
know about you, Dale, but I wasn't climbing over any fences.
You got to make sure it's a safe environment for your players firsthand. And I found the one gate that was not completely attached to the post. It was leaning against, climbed up over it, and over I went. And I don't remember their names, but the three guys, the tan players that were with me were like, oh, you okay? You okay? I'm like, 1 minute. And then we got up and, went out to the airfield and looked around. And, it was a good time. It was, all part of the experience. So, good times.
Before we go any further, I do want to, I want to thank both of you. And not everybody knows this. You guys, got together to make this a better event for us. It wasn't just, it wasn't like a you against it. You guys decided that, okay, I'm gonna do this. You're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this a great event. It's gonna happen, and that became very public on Sunday when we all discussed, hey, how should we do these last ones? Because you guys want to have fun.
I loved it. We just had a little brainstorm session. I heard what you said, and I said, let us throw a nuclear bomb into the mix to make it even more interesting.
Plan C. Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely, and it kind of kept the game going, and it didn't. People just.
Well,
I miss you, Dale.
Oh no.
So I'll pick up where Dale left off. So for those tracking, is he back? Okay, he's back.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Freddie. I'm hearing you. Go ahead. So
the attrition was so horrible, and again, I'm going right back to the player base because I'm a player first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this. I was standing there hoping to have a really relaxing night because I was just gonna rely on my faction to get the mission done, and I did have a relaxing night. However, there were four green players that showed up. Four, okay. And Dale had himself a good squad, 2 squads, a little mini platoon. Maybe.
We're going to have a whole section on the night game, I think.
Yeah. And dude, guys, why leave?
I
don't know.
Let me address that real quick. I got a message sent to me from a player after the game was over. And it opened up with very disappointed in DEO Clash of the Titans. Which all of this, obviously, I take personally. I said this last night. I'm a independent business owner, private company. This DEO is me, right? I've got my team. I've got Toucan. But in the end, it all comes back to me. So obviously, anything, especially something said like that, I'm going to take personally. But it was said, one of the first things that was stated was, the low player count, and we've mentioned that already here. That there was a low player count, and it was probably because of the cost of the ticket. Now, cost of the ticket, and there was people have compared it to previous events held there just weeks prior. Okay, everything I did was no less than twice the amount of any event held there in the past 3 years. Okay. The amount of area that we used, what we used in the area. So ISO camp. the village, the fact that that was built out the way it was, not only was it never used before, but it was built out. The transports, the bomb props, everything that happened. In fact, I had 10 admins on the field. That is 3 to 4 more times than the previous producer had on the field, and for half the amount of field. So the cost was definitely more than twice what they paid, but I didn't charge twice as much. I charged an equal number of what I needed just to break even. Had I gotten the numbers we were looking for, I would have made some profit. Yes, absolutely, I would have made some profit. But I'm a business, so businesses make profit. But we all know airsoft doesn't make a lot of money. We up and down.
Yep.
But it's a catch-22. If the cost was too high, if I lowered the cost, I couldn't give as much of the field. So less field, lower costs, and you guys don't get anything extra. I was trying to give the extra. Then he went on to talk about no food truck. Now, anybody that's watched the stream, anybody that's seen anything, knows that we had a food truck planned. Food truck was scheduled. He was supposed to be out there. Unfortunately, at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, he sends me a message saying that there's he's not going to be able to make it till 3. So I had to run out. I left the field, drove to Naples, drove back, almost a 2-hour round trip total to at least give hamburgers and hot dogs to 170 players, 180 players. Cool.
Yeah.
Dinner time, 4:00 in the afternoon. He sends me a message, says, I'll be there first thing tomorrow. So I got to run out again to get more food. Guys, the food truck was scheduled. It was there. I announced the food truck. I did what I did what I could do to help out. That's all I wanted to do was help out.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys did a wonderful job. My team did a wonderful job. We did everything we possibly could. And they said the attrition was due to low player count. They couldn't find firefights anywhere where they were playing. That's the one I know is just absolutely. If you couldn't find.
Yeah, you don't see firefighters walk around like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see shit either.
Absolutely.
I think expectations need to be brought back to reality. And, if you're expecting an open play style, just constant battle all around, this was not the event. This was catered to the Milsim side of things. Dale, you're not an airsoft commander. You're a Milsim commander. You work for a Milsim company. I run an organization, and we primarily focus on connecting to Milsim. This was Milsim driven. The props were Milsim caliber. They were interactive. The mission base was, hey, go do this mission. We'd go do this mission, and then all of a sudden intel would drop. Active intel. Bam, now it's pushing us over here, and then it's pushing us over here.
Hey, there's my answer. Yeah.
So expectations are, if it didn't meet your expectations, then you should host events yourself.
Oh, good.
Because your expectations might not have been exactly what Papa Toucan and his staff were hosting to begin with.
Yeah.
I was in firefights all weekend long. Was it 100% pushed to the max? No. We would have had them spawn trapped. We had to pull back. We had to pivot. We had to do these things. All these normal things that happen in any type of event.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I had a blast.
Yep. But I mean, that's the Milsim of it. For those who've never been in the military, it's not all, G.I. Joe run and gun. 90% of it is sit on your butt and wait. Or, hey, you tasker, hey, go move that rock 10 feet. Okay, and then come back and sit and wait in your next one.
Yep.
So we don't go that Milsim. But, I mean, really, I thought, especially in the prison facility, my job was just most of the weekend, it was like, hey, you group of 5. A lot of people want to show off the weapon they just bought, the scope they just got or whatever. It was like, hey, guys, you know what? That's much cooler when you use it on the field. So you 5 here. Go attack this building. You 4, go recon. I haven't seen anything at the Sally Port. Go tell me, is Freddie out there or is a gun truck out there? I mean, it was just like, hey, you didn't come out here to sit on your butt. You paid money to come shoot. Go, go somewhere. Go do this. Go help the team. And for the most part, I didn't get any kickback. And actually, if you want to be honest, I got more feedback from the troops than I do at other events where we play. It was kind of a little bit younger of a crowd, but man, they didn't want to take a 20-minute break. They didn't want to take a 2-hour break. It was like, hey, sir, where do you want me? Aim your weapon, go that way. And they did, and it was great.
I have to ask you guys, because we're talking about content and things to do. There were ongoing operations for the event, and one of them was the RFID card reader operation. Freddie reached out to me a couple times. Dale, you talked to me about it a couple times. How did you feel about the retrievable objectives that had to be registered to an unknown location? How did you guys feel about that? The silence is reassuring. I see.
It was a teeter-totter because I found 2 cards, and it was like, hey, cool, we got the cards. I don't want to just set them back on the battlefield. I was kind of holding on to those 2 for a while until we figured out where the ATM was. And we had guys, every little build, hey, have we checked this? Have we checked this? We checked it twice, whatever. And then I caught wind of Freddie having a stack, and I'm like, what's that? Did we miss a cache or something? But once we got the intel dump, then it was just a matter of, hey, again, you 5 sitting here taking a drink of water, take these 2 cards, go to this building and search. And it just so happened that 5 spread the word. So we had 4 teams, 2 of them trying to get out to Sallyport, the other 2 that were already on a truck coming back in. I'm like, hey, dismount, go find an ATM. Well, the phone game turned into, hey, go find cash, not a cash machine, but go find cash in this warehouse. So we found it, but it was just and then we were trying to figure out, well, are they stuck to the ceiling? Because all my guys it's not on the floor. And like Freddie had said, hey, you look down, you look up, you look left and right. You don't search like this. You look all around. Well, obviously it worked for him because he had a fat stack of them. But once we found it, it was just like, hey, you got a card? Cool, go get it. But I had 3 players come up, and kudos to them for honesty. They handed me the Poseidon card. They said, here, sir, hide this. I'm like, no, dude, we're not playing that kind of game. I will take these 3 cards under a flag of truce, and I will go. Toucan, you caught me midway, and hey, where you? And I was just like, hey, these were found. I'm not playing this. Hide the fucking whatever you want to call it, but just So these were found. These need to go to that side. I'm not playing the shady game like that. So, and I think it worked out, and I had a blast. I think the players had a blast with it, but that was something that I've never seen the RFID card kind of a thing in a game like this. So I thought it was cool.
We got a comment in the chat from Brandon. I don't have my glasses on. Brandon Watkins. It says searching and scanning for the RFID cards was fun. Made him keep his eyes peeled. Constant objective searching that kept it fun. So
I remember just Freddie
everywhere.
Freddie brought like task force credit card when he thought, like this truck rolled up. He had like 2 teams like pull out. He's carrying a little box, which I thought had the cards in it. Turns out he just liked the box. You rolled into that building with Small, and you're like, we did it. Like I was like, when I saw you guys do that, I was like, yes. Because earlier he's like, man, I got this map, but we just keep circling in on places where it's getting smaller and smaller where this box can be.
We really. So there were 2 things going on. There was, hey, go push the front lines, go find me stuff, bring it all back. Attack the Sallyport, right? That's like a hey, you got to control in and out. Although the transports were impervious to everything, so technically they didn't even pass by. They kind of just like it was airlifted off. Yeah. So that's in my mind, but it was nice because I got to see like, oh, there's 6 dudes going down this way, and then I get to watch. So while I was doing that, the other part was, hey, let's get outside the wire and let's search. And so after a while, the green side started getting a little frustrated with me, and they were like, hey, like, where's this ATM machine at? Like, and I said, I don't know. Like, let's go back. And then there were talks of, well, I was here. And there's always the players that come up and they'll give you intel from like 45 minutes or an hour ago. And you're like, yeah, but you just came off the field. Don't come off the field and give me intel. Like, you need to come from the field and give me intel.
Right.
So guys were coming off break. Yeah, 45 minutes ago it was over here. So we pack up the entire, train and go roll it over to ISO camp. And now we're looking at Objective Charlie because that's the only place we hadn't been. Comment said, yeah, Joker said it was there. So we're searching for it. But Joker did put us on to the fact that we were sitting and guarding a tan objective for over an hour and a half, worth 11,000 points. So that's technically why we lost. Right? So that just goes to show
Thank you, Green.
Pay attention because we were guarding their objective for 11,000 points. But that was pretty much my favorite aspect of the game was like rolling into the ATM machine, treating it as like a real mission. I was like, guys, we don't know what we're going into. That whole building could be just surrounded with guys, and it was nothing. And then I'm like, so we did it all, and they're like, all right, what's next? And they all looked at me, and I was like, well, let's go to the farm. So then we go to the farm, and there's this guy in a bush, and he just takes off running. So now we chase this kid down. Turns out he had asthma, didn't have his inhaler, and we almost killed him. That was awesome. We picked up even more green guys, loaded them on. Then we went to ISO camp, and we're like, we're going to hit ISO camp so hard. We're just boom. And it was like dry hole. And they're like, what are you doing? So it's funny because I've heard that these 3v3 breakout between a group of 6 guys.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I may or may not have tried to orchestrate a force-on-force down there at ISO camp with the green guys. Like, you guys go over here, you go over here. First one to capture at 410 wins, and then we'll load back up and go back. And then all of a sudden, bam, we get hit with a transport truck coming in with tan guys, and it was, man, I'm all smiles, dude. I had a ton of fun.
So I know Freddie, we're gonna lose you in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to let you leave on a high note if you can, but before you leave on a high note, should we decide to do something like this again, which I told you before, I wanted Clash of the Titans to become a series as well. I thought it would be really cool for it to be some kind of series, get other big names, other event producers, and get them to get a chance to play instead of just produce.
Yeah.
Any criticisms, anything that you think could be improved on for next time? I know other than price of ticket and get more players. Anything else?
Yeah, man, unless you've got that magic ball that you can just rub, or the genie that comes popping out and instantly sells out your event.
There it is.
I think you're on a good track, brother, and I'd be happy as hell to come back and play or command or both, because this event I did not sit underneath that awning. I got out there. Dale got out there. I mean, it was a ton of fun. You guys kept us active. So no, keep doing what you're doing, man. And again, like others have said, don't get discouraged, because South Florida is deserving of you, or maybe they're not deserving of you after the low player count on this event. You bunch of scumbags. But I'm so happy to be here in Florida and part of this airsoft community. I'm happy to know you guys. Papa and his crew allowed Veterans for Airsoft to fundraise. We raised over $1,200 from the raffle. So thank you,
fantastic.
you guys so much.
Awesome.
We're able to consistently meet mission, helicopter rides, do a bunch of stuff. So, keep on keeping on. I appreciate you guys for everything you do for us. Dale, I love you. It was so much fun hanging out with you, living with the enemy for the weekend. I guess
you got a compliment, by the way. Guys said it was an honor and a privilege to serve under you at the op.
Thanks, guys. Yeah,
AJ said that. Yeah.
In the player base, you guys, as much as I give you shit, that's consistently because we need to grow. And if you're not being pressed on, then you're not going to be under pressure. And guess what? You're just going to turn into a pile of sticky poop. So we're trying to form diamonds here. Toucan, dude, your game was awesome. The props you brought in were awesome. I wish I would have had an opportunity to interact on that bomb case prop. So I hope to see these props more. The RFID reader is awesome. The cards were awesome. Keep on keeping on, guys. Thank you guys so much. I am bowing out early.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you very much
for everything.
You rule, Freddie.
Talk to you soon.
Cool.
And he's
Almost.
not yet.
Still
Almost.
here. God, leave already. Ugh.
Yeah.
What do I have?
Ugh.
Something to leave?
You
Oh yeah, there's a button.
can stay all you want. I mean, I'll kick you
over.
out here. Let me kick you out. There you go.
Yeah.
There he goes. Later.
Oh,
And
man.
there was one
Very
left.
cool.
Actually, let me see something real quick. I think I know what's going on. No, it's because I opened up
Yeah.
not in Chrome.
We should close it and just let Dale talk.
No, I wonder what happens to it.
Don't. Just
No, so
Well, best
Freddie gave us
conversation here.
all of he gave us his whole lowdown and how he felt about it and everything like that. If you want to give us yours, by all means, I mean, I'll let you run with it. How you felt about everything, start to finish. I mean, you heard some of the negatives, but I'm gonna turn it over to you here. If you want to throw it out there.
Yeah. Honestly, I had a blast. You know, it was a new course, a new field I'd never played on. I love being back in my home state. Got to see some alligators out there. That was cool. But no, just the way the game was set up, the length of the iterations. Only a couple of complaints I heard was lunch was too short, but hey, people kind of did their thing and then they came back on the field, so it is what it is. My hat's off to you. I want to give, I forget her name and forgive me, but the young lady that hauled butt from the parking lot to sing the national anthem, winded, and still knocked it out of the ballpark. Dude, that I got allergies were kicking up there holding that flag. That was pretty damn cool. Yeah, but man, that single ceremony, part of the game meant more to me than I will say the whole rest of the game. I take pride in that. But player base, I had a lot of young troops, and just talking to them, kind of giving them a little, hey, do this or that, don't worry about this. It was, I thought that was cool. I really appreciated talking to most folks, especially hearing the stories of how they're coming out there to play because they really got nothing else. Their home is wrecked. They're living out of a bed or Airbnb or in a hotel because their home is being rebuilt. And that really meant a lot to me that, hey, you're coming out here to take your time, spend the money, and buy a ticket. Let me not waste your time and try to be the best commander that I could be for the players. I just try to keep people engaged. The players seem to have a positive attitude the whole weekend, forcing hydration a little bit, trying to keep them moving, but just not letting them sit under that. Oh, hey, I'm going to take a 5, 10, 20-minute break. But hey, man, break later, break at lunch, break tonight, but get your butt out there. Let's get you in the fight. And I think that really kept the energy up. I thought the objectives were awesome. Like I said, trying to find those RFID tag cards. Tan was struggling, but we found some. Not as many as Freddie and Green, but we found them. Other than that, I think just the way the setup was, you had the village out here, you had the farm down there, which took you out of the fight, lets you do some squad tactics to find what you were looking for, and then 1 second, guys, I got to 1 second.
Perfect timing. So yeah, we absolutely appreciate that. We've gotten so many. There's been a lot of good feedback, very, very little negative feedback, and that was really what we all hope for.
The negative feedback is always productive, though.
Yeah,
towards the next event.
I mean, I'm taking into account what one of the biggest things I've heard from people was honestly the ticket cost, and I understand that it seemed like a lot more. It was, I believe, $45 more than the previous producer there. Wow, move fast for a big man. I didn't realize. I was trying to plan for appropriate numbers and things like that. Whatever. Now I know. I guess. I mean, I can't say I would have necessarily made a difference. I don't know that.
The next time, hypothetically, I'm saying hypothetically, I'm not confirming anything. If we hypothetically were to do this event again, we would reduce the area until it got small per event. So if we had another one, we would cut out an area, run it, and then until maybe the third iteration we saw it grew, then we would open up the location.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I just what I wanted to do was give everybody. I mean, I wanted to give exactly what I gave to the people that came.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the bottom line. I know that, and look at this, and it still didn't work. Whatever. I don't know why. I wanted to get what everybody said they got out of this is exactly what I wanted to be able to give to them.
Okay.
Would it have been cool if there was 300, 400 players? Of course. Did it work for the 180 that were there? Sounds like it.
I think the number to the side. I mean, size. Yeah, you've got a lot of square footage out there, but buildings and the spacing of the village to the farm to the main prison complex. I think if you would have had 300 players, man, you would have been super saturated. You couldn't have gone building to building without getting pegged by five different people. Yeah. And then everybody would have been complaining, oh, there's too many players. I'm getting shot too much. And then people are walking off the field.
And here's the thing. By Sunday, so I was already talking. So, as you know, for the event, Papa was the head of staff, and then I was the game runner. So, call sign Gasket, my point man, literally, he does the points. And he assists me with scoring objectives and missions. We were both talking, and we thought, well, to make this a more productive event and to make it feel maybe a little more lively for who we had, why not cut the farm out and just run ISO and prison? Because the transports would still be in play. Technically, people could still walk to ISO. Those are both the points of extreme interest. But then we had our awesome powwow in church, and screw it, let's have fun. Which was that was a great powwow.
You guys. More so than on this side of the house, you and Freddie both, when we're talking about what to do, and you were like, I don't need anybody over here. I'm going to fight what the good Lord gave me. I got my troops. That's it. And it was really, that played into how I believe too. You get spawn trapped, fight your way out, find a way out, do what you got to do to make it happen. That's how you learn the aggression. You did not have the experience from top to bottom. You've never played that. You yourself never played there before.
Nope.
It's been a while since you've played any kind of military. Just a minute. And
Jesus.
And you had Jesus actually was his XO. What? It's been a while.
He just wouldn't take the wheel. I understand why. I asked him. Anyways.
And you had a lot of players, some that were brand new to airsoft as a whole.
Props to those guys.
Yeah.
Props to you.
So, the aggression obviously wasn't there. And
the aggression, no, but the tempo, hey, I'm getting back in it. I may go a little bit and then kind of stop, but man, they were in it. Yeah. That meant more to me than, that was.
And you had your guys scattered to the four winds, which was fantastic because, Green Poseidon was really focused on fighting. You had your guys focused on finding.
Yeah.
And that played well in your favor. Like I said at the raffle, their aggression got them points. Their aggression also got them war crimes. And now they certainly would have won had more people shown up for the night game. Had it been a more even night game, more than likely they would have won. Obviously, the players of the night game would have had. They would have.
We're gonna get to the night game. The night game. That's a whole. I want to talk about the night game. But with what he just said, it was the dichotomy of airsofting, watching Poseidon versus Ares, where Poseidon is like, boots on the ground, stomp, fire, shoot, oppress, suppress, and then Ares just going, I got the wild card control box. I know where the RFID card scanner is. Yep. I have 75% of the gold for Stevo. I have most of the gas canisters.
Yeah, I would say the wine, the sarin gas. Yeah. Minus one bottle.
It's in heaven now. It's at the. Hey, that bottle joins the ranks of the bottle Papa broke.
Hey.
I see.
Yeah, that's why I was picking you guys up barbecue.
Well, yeah.
There's the excuse, but no, it was awesome seeing the greener side of tan pull through point wise, and then the grizzled side of green pull in combat wise. It was really interesting to see the dichotomy of you two. I think you nailed it. You nailed it as a CO. You took the intel, both sides. This is what I also really enjoyed. The intel packet drops. It was watching. your platoon leads and your XO, your eyes light up. Go, where is it? What does it mean? Playground? What? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
It was like Christmas morning. Look, dude, just give me a second. Shh. You know, open it up. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, where are we going? All right, gentlemen, to the farm." Yeah, they loved it. They loved it.
Josh DeMonico. Josh says that was his bad for the bottle. I guess he broke
Yeah.
the bottle.
Most expensive selfie ever.
I guess Jess got war crime for rainbow socks and toe shoes. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
Rather's rage fell asleep. That's why he wasn't there for the night game. You know,
Man.
I gotta say,
We don't talk about Bruno.
for those of you, that don't know this, I've never been to a mill sim where there was Intel showed up after you got Intel. The next one showed up. I've never been where that was, and that's more realistic to me. You know, and like,
Yep.
you know, being in service, being in the Army, you don't know the entire battle. You know what you know, and then when they get new information, it's passed down. He wrote it in a way that emulated that. And if you were new to this, if this was your first mill sim, a lot of people don't understand. That's not how they all are. You get an Intel drop for an Evo, and that's it. Next Evo, another Intel drop. This was information after information after information.
We dropped, I think, 6 to 8 total for both sides for just Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
And 2 of them were on the fly, where we actually mid-game we thought, you know what, to direct the player base in a certain direction, we set up like the wild card control box was great for this. We literally found a power pole with a transformer, Velcro back, stuck it on, which by the way, planting the props on walls and ceilings, gonna do that forever. And then just putting like context clues in that location, and then quick, go to the other fob. I'll go to this fob. We'll do Simo drops, and then we'd give both COs a Simo drop like the 4th hour in or whatever. That was really enjoyable.
Comments are gonna make me cry, by the way. Andrew Brainerd, it was a fun game to watch. Rattlers Raised, the atmosphere was so good that everyone won in my book.
Oh,
Brandon Watkins, it was really a fun time. Here it is right here. Everyone seemed to be in such a good mood. Lots of fist bumps and high fives, just having fun shooting and getting shot. There was super flaring, but mostly everyone was cool. Props for admin squashing problems so quickly. So
yes, absolutely.
That's in the going on 5 years now, running games and day games and events, and that is all I've ever wanted.
Great.
Both sides, shoot, get shot, good shot. Like all I ever wanted to have happen.
Great. It was a good event.
Exactly.
That one comment.
That's all I needed.
That's it.
That one comment.
Shut off the stream. We're done.
Took care of
See, I'm out.
I got that. It really did. Anthony Parker, one improvement I suggest: add names to the map. ISO camp, farm, prison. Okay, as opposed to all right. So,
but that double-edged sword on that one.
Yeah,
double-edged sword on that one. So, you know, the plan I made, I put a couple phase lines and kind of kept it simple. I think for each side, like if I would have called the farm, if I would have called it, the chicken shack or whatever. That way you can't, when you say, hey, the farm, the green goes, oh, they mean the farm. But if you were to put the same names out for both sides, that kind of, it's just like, I think not naming them was just one iota a little better. That way the commands or the platoons could make their own names and at least try to, keep a little OPSEC operational security for their plan. But at the same time, that it's true. It's a common reference point. So if you were to name them, it depends on which way you want to go with the game. So
I know you and Freddie both had roughly about the same amount of your players in your planning group. You had approximately 30 something. Is that about right?
Yeah, just shy of 40. Yep.
Yeah. And you both had about that amount. And now you know that that's not every player.
Correct. Yep.
And again, that goes back to something I've said forever as well. I said leading up to this, you want the immersion, you want the fun out of it, you want to get the full experience, let the immersion happen, be part of the planning group.
Yep. That's
something that could have been done. Like Anthony said, do that. Well, if in the planning group, you can say, hey, I don't know what CP stands for. I don't know what PL stands for. I don't know what these things stand for. What does it mean? Can I just call it the farm? Can I just, and then you could have modified the map that way for those that didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you do in planning groups.
Yep.
It's not just guys come in and go, okay, you're now in charge of these 8 dudes. Out you go. There's so much more in a planning group than just giving command structure and radio frequencies.
Let me say,
No, go ahead.
just mine's real quick. We've been talking a lot of good. Let's talk some negative, all right? The map. The map was a mess. We identify this. We understand this. We lost a fifth of the map the day of.
Yeah.
And then much to the, I would say, disappointment of us, there was oversight on one area where admins were confused whether or not players could enter the warehouse area or not. What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were whispering like you're messing up. I'm like, huh?
No.
To the players that experienced that, I want to shout out Laz of the Tryhards for being so understanding that there was a very simple miscommunication between the admins understanding what was and wasn't in play with that warehouse area. Again, thank you to the teams that actually did talk to me in person and DM me privately about that. I am sorry, but y'all seemed very cool with what happened. I mean, post fact. But that certainly will be scrutinized far more harshly next up we have, no matter where it's at. I just wanted to put that out there. We do identify the map was an issue. If you're at safety brief, that's why I was standing on a table holding an updated map with a bunch of squiggles all over it. We're very sorry about that. What were you saying?
I'm actually, so I was saying hi to Yordi. Yordi's on. And I'm just going, should have asked. What was the point of CP then? Rather's Rage, let's not talk about Tan trying to breach the back door multi-purpose building and the door opened out, not in. First man kicked, second man cooked a grenade and bounced back into five-man entry team out.
Darwinism, what are you going to do? Strong survive?
That's so funny. I mean, there is, and at the same time, Rather's Rage taking responsibility. Apparently Anthony Parker was on his team. He said he never asked, sorry, he didn't understand. And he took responsibility. Again, that's on me. I was your XO. So, again, that's a part of it. The understanding the team play. That's what I want to harbor. I really want to try to get that. And you got, I can't say it enough. You and Freddie were friggin' perfect for this.
You're the perfect choice.
Your demeanors, your engagement, your desire, like to put fun first. Like. That made this for me. I'm not about the super crazy mill sim. I like, yes, I wanted this to be a national event, but I still wanted my flavor, and you guys absolutely put the whipped cream on it. So that's
time's winding down. I want to talk about the night game, which has good and bad to it.
Okay.
The night game. 4 squads versus almost 1. Let's talk about that. Tan beat all odds and actually had 5-1 attendance almost over green. There was a primary operation, an ongoing operation for the night game, and then there was a mission that required finding one of 3 packets of codes across the primary prison.
Yeah.
Finding the codes, which weren't exact, by the way. It literally says on the codes, it's either this one or this one. It's either this button or this button. They weren't exact. To disarm a bomb, if the bomb blew up, the grid coordinate died. That's how risky that side mission was. Through all odds, Tan was able to, because of the lack of competition, was able to hold the primary. The 90, I think Marley, we calculated it, like 97% of the score. Almost, it was basically 0 for green. Was Tan, and then the side mission, the box, they just lucked their way through it. There was 5 minutes left of mission. There was a hiccup in the box, and it just worked. They're standing there with the box, like the box is green, sweet, and I'm just standing there like the box is green, and then they're like, "Oh, we got to take it back to score it." Like, you should have seen the guy that found the first set of codes. He literally picked up the intel packet, didn't open it, started running towards the fob, but I go, "Where are you going?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to score." Mind you, during the mission brief, that packet, I said, "This does not score. This is a code. You must utilize this to disarm the Mark I Traveler." So the guy was like, "I did it. I won. I'm going to turn this in."
I gotta get it to my commander. I gotta get it to my commander.
So I was like, "Listen, I can't give you too much of a hint, but open it." And he
Not too much of a hint.
It was like pulling teeth out of a shark. I'm like, it just doesn't end with this guy. He could have figured it out, but through banging enough coconuts and rocks together, Tan literally got every single point possible for both the primary mission, which was a ton of points, and the secondary mission, which they all literally, while they were doing this, the entire Tan team was in one spot. They all could have been wiped immediately. Just luck. So props to your side for Ares for.
And that was, I mean, that was Poseidon's undoing.
And if the night mission, even if you guys tied, you would have been crushed. Let me say how important the night mission was. If you scored this, even 2/3 of the points, you still would have been almost crushed by Poseidon. That's how well and important that mission was.
Yeah, it really was. It was cool to see the points like that.
Yeah.
Laz jumped on.
Laz. I love my man Laz.
Yep.
Laz of the tryhards.
Yep.
Very nice.
Again, I had some people say that they enjoyed this one more than they did North versus South.
It hurts my soul, but I get
it. There was so many more logistic issues and moving parts underneath that a lot of people didn't get to see, which is why I had a hard time understanding that how could somebody see it as being better. Looking back on it now, now that I've had a case and a half of beer and a couple of a bit of Valium and all of that, I am being able to look at it and see it for what it was as far as the gameplay goes.
Nope.
Nothing but smiles. I mean, and again, seeing the responses here, and the way people felt about the way the game went. I mean, I can't say enough. I'm so looking forward to the next one. You'll have your own HPA gun at the next one, Dale. But it was. I mean, having you guys definitely made it. Really, really, definitely made it. It's what do we got? We got about 6 minutes left. Anything you want to throw in?
Yeah.
Anything anybody wants to say about it?
I really want to hear just more from Dale. I love his sugary voice flowing through my ear holes.
Okay, two things. One, the map. The original map showed the playfield as being across that hardball highway. That initially I had a couple Tan players want to go run across, and I was like, that's swamp. And those are real vehicles that aren't in play. Do not run across that highway. We had a couple people, including me, that were maneuvering over to the farm. We're going through the barbed wire, and I look around. I'm like, hey, that's a cow. Probably not in play. Let's go back and then go the other way around. Or maybe just kind of doing a little red hash through, like, don't go in this pen. Those are real livestock. Not in play. What was the other thing? Other than that, I thought the map was very effective. Okay, we label the buildings. All right, that's it's a flavor. The other crap, I had something else.
I'm gonna rip off a Sal and name every street. So
yeah.
You heard it here first, Sal. I'm robbing you, boy. Anyway.
No, the other thing I was gonna give credit to was, like you said, you had admin strategically placed and not just surging in the middle or pulling out, as they kind of meander. So when my team and I went out and I fell off the gate, whatever, but you had an admin out there that was watching, probably getting some chuckles, and then we were just like, okay, fuck, we didn't find anything. He came over and said, hey, let me help you guys. Don't worry about way out there. Focus more towards this way. And it was like, oh, sweet. And that got us back in the fight, and back where the fun was. So that my hat's off to you guys. That was great. Just having your admin out there, not necessarily doing anything, but he was doing more for the game than he knew. So
right. And that, to me, that's what admins should be, not just there standing waiting to chastise you for doing something wrong or write up war crimes. I was showing some of the newer guys who don't know how to maneuver and communicate and cover fire and things like that, how to do that. I used to host an event before Doomsday's games. The week before, I used to call it Road to Overwatch, and I would do training at the events at the field to teach people how to do cover fire, how to do breach and clear, how to do stuff like that.
Circling back real quick, staff, very important.
Mhm.
I want to thank Echo 4 for all the staff members that assisted with
Absolutely.
driving vehicles.
Absolutely.
I want to thank Mo. I want to thank our guys, Team DEO, John, Astrid, Pops, Ches, Ethan, Gasket, I guess.
Did you write all this down? That's awesome. Keep
I want to
going.
thank Rob Weiner for putting all the effort in for driving as well. I want to thank Echo 4 again, more importantly, Alex Fallon of the group for organizing the JTF mission and essentially staffing and operating their own amazing immersive night game. I just wanted to get that in there.
No, absolutely. And I you covered all that. I got to thank, first of all, I got to thank Bulldog for manning the store for me the way he did. I got to all of the sponsors and vendors. Listen, I asked a bunch of people, had they ever been to a Milsim event where they saw such a large raffle before? I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't realize the raffle was going to be as big as it was. And I had one person tell me they'd been to an event where the raffle was that big. And I said, where? And they said, Bad Blood. I said, right. Who hosts Bad Blood again? He said, yeah, Evic. So being second to the world's #1 airsoft supplier, I'll take it. I don't mind that.
Sorry,
I'm okay with that.
We didn't need to go on a giant tangent, Dale. Speak with them flowery lips, boy.
It was everybody. Everybody did such an amazing job, from the players to the staff, that I don't have anything negative to say. I'm just that's when you throw a blanket on someone and lay it on fire. What is that? I don't know
But
what
Dale,
that is.
sorry, you were mid conversation. Keep going, sir. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. Just labeling some of them areas that probably a little off limits, like the cow pasture. I dig the just the size of that field. It wasn't like, hey, we're all right here. Shoot, go over here, go over here. You actually had spans enough for players and commanders and kind of have fun, get a little break, maneuver in another spot, and get in the fight. I loved it. I thought it was great. Couple pieces of razor wire, on my helmet. I lost my my mic and my earphones because a piece of the razor wire sliced it in half. But hey, your equipment wears out. That's fine. Yeah, I'll send a picture to you. But it sliced it right in half. I didn't even realize it. So
Wow.
I think I had a helmet on. But yeah, no, that was a real world course, and it wasn't like set up, speed soft. No. This was like, hey, try your luck in that hole. Oh, you got stuck. Okay, let's go try another spot to get to the point. It was realistic and it was great, and I loved it. And I thank you guys for letting me come down and have a good time in Florida. That was I love it.
Where do you currently live, sir?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, you are? Okay. I thought
Boo. Boom. Move back to your home state. We call. You're almost just crazy enough to live here again, man. You know what? Stay in Texas. I like.
You see my family, you'd go, yep, you're right in. Yep.
It was. I do look forward to it. If I can convince him to have another one, we'll host it.
Oh, buddy.
But in order for Dark Horse 6 to be there, apparently we have to host it further up north. So if you'll travel up north, maybe we'll give Freddie a second chance to take you on.
Nice. I love it. I'm there. Totally.
Dale, if you would entertain us, if we no promises, hypothetically, no promises, not promising anything. If we did do another one, chill. We would love to have you return as a triumphant commander of the last mission.
Man, you guys are pumping me up.
Yeah.
I would hands down love to do this. Now, it's up to your player base. I hope I didn't let folks down. I wasn't out there beating heads and thumping skulls.
I
But
got nothing but compliments
let's
about
see.
you.
Hang on.
It was impressive.
Hang on. Say.
I didn't even like you. No, I'm kidding. No.
yeah,
Dale was a great CO. Was getting to talk to you for a short bit during the night game. Thanks for making us newbies feel comfortable. I mean, I can scroll through this whole thing and show you all the compliments. I mean, you know, a lot of guys know who Freddie is. This is your first time. Like it's the first time back in a long time. A lot of guys that are playing now have never heard of you. That's how long, it's how long it's been.
yeah, it's been a minute.
and for people to be talking about you
I hadn't
this
heard
way,
of you.
it's exciting to see that. And I'm hoping that honestly, I mean it sincerely. I hope that this, as long as it doesn't impede with the rest of your life, I'm hoping that this does bring you back in to some extent, even if it's once a year with us. I'm okay with that.
Yep. No, I would absolutely be a pleasure to come back to my home state and stomp some Gators in the ass down there.
Hey, listen, internet's written in ink, so you said it. It's recorded. Now we got you.
Anthony Parker, yes, Tampa. Grown up, college, high school, middle school, Tampa, Florida, and the areas around it. So, yep, guys, I would love to come back. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I can't go to them. That would be great.
Yep.
That would be great.
That is that. Oh, Brainerd up north, yeah, like Indiana. We'll talk about it.
You wish,
Yeah,
baby
we'll
boy.
talk about it. All right, Dale. Thank you so much. We're at our hour. I really do appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
Everybody that was here, congratulating us. It's actually thanks to you guys. Can't say enough. I really do appreciate everyone. Thank you all so much for being here, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Go
Have a
play
good night.
airsoft.